What is going on, YouTube? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing this book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. So, per Wikipedia, the definition of a job, employment, is a relationship between two parties regulating the provision of paid labor services. So, we live in a culture where there is job shaming for some reason. I have always been taught never to shame somebody for the job that they have. And there is this huge thing where people say that being a YouTuber isn't a real job. And then I'll be here on YouTube and there's just some random comment from someone saying, "Get a real job." What? Okay. So, for those of you who want to be a YouTuber, good on you. Good for you. It's not easy, it's not fast, and it's not profitable for several years. Now, I just want to go into the time that I spent. I clocked in, I wrote down how many hours I worked for the last 6 days in a row. And I'm working right now. So, the 17th, I worked 14 hours. The 18th, I worked 12 and a half hours. The 19th, I worked 11 hours. The 20th, I worked 15 and a half hours. The 21st, I worked 16 hours. And the 22nd, I worked 17 hours. That adds up to something like 84 or 86 hours in 1 week. And I'm still working. Today's day 7. I'm still working. These hours are not, people just assume that YouTubers just sit in front of the camera, they talk, and then they just upload. That's just all that there is to it. Now, there are some YouTubers that do that. They don't edit. They don't do other work in order to gain money, to make more money. And then if you were to go into a job interview, and for the last 5 years, you've done nothing but YouTube, and maybe you decided you wanted to go back to the workforce, or your YouTube revenue got so low that you have to go back into the workforce, or whatever the situation may be. When you put YouTuber as your title, that can lead to a lot of really awkward questions in the interview, or it can lead to a lot of really interesting questions in the interview, because it depends on the interviewer. Do they think that being a YouTuber is a real job, or do they think that it's a fake job? So last time I went in for a job interview, which is the last job I'll ever work, I will never work another 9 to 5 again. The person was really interested in my YouTube career because I was his last interview before he was about to retire, and he wanted to find something to do outside of it. And we talked for a good half an hour about how much work goes into it, what it's about, how he can get started. And I was actually giving him advice in my job interview about what to do and all this other stuff. And it was a really great experience. But on my resume, I didn't put YouTuber. I put that I worked for Google because we are paid through Google AdSense. So my employer is Google. And then my title was YouTube marketing influencer, YouTube marketing engineer, something like that. I put some fancy title on it, so it sounded a lot better than YouTuber. But anyway, the hours that are included, or the things that are included in these hours, they include way more than YouTube. I had to write it down. It also includes taking photos and listing my solar generators on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Craigslist, as well as answering questions of potential customers, even though I leave notes in my ads stating not to ask me those questions. Taking my e-bike into the shop to get the brakes fixed so I can relist it. It includes selling my generators, Patreon posts, book updates, behind the scenes reach out to companies for product review, negotiations, teleprompter work, filming, editing, redirecting, processing, uploading, analytics changes, research, and so on. And that does not even include collaboration with other channels, sharing of information with fellow creators, time for makeup and hair, clothing choices, creating thumbnails, titles, and more. That's just a brief thing of what is included in what I do. And it sounds like maybe it sounds to you like not a lot, or maybe it does sound like a lot. I do not have to go into a job and punch a card. to get into the job. Yes, I can sleep in if I want, which happens almost never. If someone were to come and visit me unscheduled, like a friend shows up at my door, I can stop what I'm doing and I can hang out with my friend for a few hours, go out to lunch, go out to dinner, but then I come home and I have to continue with my workload. And YouTube is not the type of place where you're going to come in and you're going to be an overnight sensation making 10 grand a month. In fact, on YouTube, you're paid by the ads that are shown on your channel, but there are other ways to make money using YouTube, as it's like YouTube is in the middle, and then you have all these little branches that come off of other things that you can do. For instance, I do product reviews. I used to do product reviews, and I seriously thought that, they send you a free product and you make a product review. That's how you do product reviews. Product reviews are not what they used to be. Now they're 15 to 20 minute commercials, and the company that sends you the product has every right to tell you exactly how to make the video, how to title it, what it is required to be included in that video, and so on and so forth. But I didn't know this until I started collaborating with other YouTubers, that you are supposed to get paid to make those product reviews. Like, they send you the product and they pay you. And so what I was doing at first for years, is I was getting all these free products, doing product reviews, and then I would have so many that I'd have to start selling them. So now when I move into a negotiation process, I will tell them straight off the bat, I'm not going to do it for free. And then they'll say, but and they will try to negotiate and get you to do it for free. And then I finally say, look, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to do it for free. I already have 30 units in my closet. I've got 15 e-bikes out in the backyard that I can't get rid of. Nobody is buying for a reasonable amount, a dollar amount. So unless you're going to pay me, I'm not going to do it. And sometimes they'll come back and say, okay, we'll pay you this much. Or sometimes they just won't write back at all. So you have to. And I think that it's really important for YouTubers behind the scenes to talk to other YouTubers and befriend other YouTubers. I am friends with Coffee with Kate, Under the Median, Sensible Living with Money Mom, Homestead Tessie, and that's just on the frugal side. I am also friends with, City Prepping. I've talked to Canadian Prepper, Angry Prepper, a couple of others, Urban Prepper. All of them are really, really great guys. I really like all those guys, and they believe in what they're saying. But I don't really talk about prepping as much as I used to, because it's gone a little bit off the deep end, and it's gotten so bad that I don't want to be associated with that group. The group of preppers, because I find that they've actually become more detrimental to our society in order to get the clicks and views. So too much fear mongering, and the world is driven on fear and desire, and I don't want that. So I want to teach people how to save money instead. But if they believe it, and then that's how they make their living, good for them. Just not for me, for the most part. And then so it's really important for you to collaborate, because if I weren't collaborating with these people on the back end, and if we weren't open and honest about how much money we make from doing certain things, I would never have known that you are supposed to get paid for doing product reviews. So now, with some of these people, I collaborate, and it's like, hey, I just got an offer from this company for this much. Here's their email address. And then they'll do the same for me. I just got an offer for this. They're trying to promote this product for such and such a date. Reach out to them. Here's their email. Or I'll tell them to reach out to you, and so on. So we're actually helping each other to make more money, which is really important, because YouTube doesn't pay nearly as much as you think. I actually made a video on how much I get paid for 300,000 subscribers, and I think it's like $64,000 a year. And people think that $300,000 is a huge channel. You're probably making, $20,000 a month. No. And this is after like 500-600 videos after a 7-year period. So it took me like 6-7 years in order to make $65,000, which is way more than I would be able to make at a low wage or minimum wage job, a 9 to 5er. But at the same time, it's not as much as you think it's going to be. but for me, it's totally worth it. I love doing it. And when I'm in a frenzy like this, I'm actually in a point on my channel where I am at one of those, like if you were in the office right now, you'd be like deadline after deadline after deadline, and you'd just be like ultra hyper focused on your work, and just like the time flies by like that. Like you go in for an 8-hour shift and you're like, okay, time for lunch. And then you look at the clock and you're like, oh crap, I missed my lunch. It's time to go home. No, that's what I'm in right now. And I actually get a high from that. I get a little bit of a high from being so busy that the time just like, boom, goes really super fast. But there is a lot going on behind the scenes, and just to me, producing one video a week is full-time work. I'm working on 2 or 3 videos per week. And I am literally trying to make as much money as possible. And I don't think that anybody should be shamed for that. I think that if you are at a job and you've got a supervisor and a manager and you're in your cubicle, you should also be trying to make as much money as you possibly can. So why is it that we, as YouTubers, are told to get a real job, and we are shamed and put down for creating content that pays us? It doesn't make any sense. And then there's also the argument you should do it for free. I would never do YouTube for free. Never, ever, ever would I do it for free. Just because of the trolls, the negative comments. If I were going to do it for free, I would turn off all comments, get rid of my email. I would not put my face in front of the camera. And and I would do maybe one video every 2 weeks. Or one video a month, or maybe not any videos at all. I honestly don't think I would do it if I were not getting paid, because of the pure evil in the world that is thrown at influencers and creators and YouTubers, because the people that are throwing all of that hate at us believe that they are invisible and that it's okay. So, and it does have a toll on the mental health of creators. I believe that creators are 4 times more likely to commit the S word, which is 7 letters. Starts with an S, ends with an E, and it's letting themselves go. 4 times more likely as a YouTube creator. So if you are one of those people that are out there that are spreading hate, I would tell you, not that you're a bully and not that this is really mean, because you already know that, and you might actually be getting kicks out of hurting other people. If that is the case, please remember, hell is real, heaven is real, and you have to decide where you're going. And talking poorly, slander about other people, that is an actionable offense that is going to send you to the wrong place. And if you think it's a big party down there, you're wrong. I would highly recommend looking up Bill Weiss, 23 Minutes in Hell. It's Bill, and then the last name is Wiese. There are videos here on YouTube where he goes over what his trip was like. And trust me, you don't want to be there. And even though I don't like you, I don't want you to go there either. I really, really don't. I pray for all of you, and I don't want anyone to go there. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. So please remember, God is real, heaven is real, angels are real, and so are demons and Satan in hell. So please do the right thing. All right, folks. I didn't want to get too crazy biblical on you, because that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about money saving, money making, investing. If you are thinking of starting a YouTube channel, I highly recommend making some friends in the YouTube community, because you can bounce off of each other and learn how to make more money that is associated with your channel, but is not necessarily a part of YouTube. And for those of you who say YouTube's not a real job, try to keep up. Try to keep up a day in the life of Prepper Princess. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out.